serif font. Like, that's a little bit more classic, right? Somebody who, and that's why I think you don't see Lindsay, like Olives, that red one, that's got a little serif on it as well. It just gives a different feel to the product. So, and then a lot of times for men's products, you'll have an Arial font because they're not real, you know, it's masculine versus feminine, right? So the ladies, we like the scroll fonts. We like the, you know, a little bit more of a little something to them. The men are much more straightforward.
The fancy, like this.
Fancier
This
stuff.
one's fancy.
Yeah. The guys are kind of like, this is what I got to use.
Give it to me straight up.
You don't have to really fancify anything for the boys. Okay. Now this one, we'll talk a little bit about. Now this one, without seeing the name of this beverage, what would you say this is?
Coke.
Okay. So why would you have said that? Okay. So Coca-Cola pretty much has the market on red and white, without even seeing their logo, without ever seeing their font style. You know that it's Coke. Oh, sorry. I'll stick it on the side. So red and white. I mean, like if you go anywhere in the world, most often, I'm not going to say every time, because they do have to change something from their marketing to different people of different cultures. But most of the time, because it's such a trademark thing for them, it's going to be red and white. Did you have a question?
On the back, is it Coke?
Yes. I had those covered.
No. On the back.
Oh, right here. Man, oh man, you got some eyes. I can't see that far anymore. I didn't even bother covering that one up. But even if you hadn't seen that, would you have thought it was a Coke can? Yeah. Okay. Right. You caught it. All right, and then one more. What kind of product do you think this is? I'm not asking you to guess. Okay. And what gives you that idea? Why would you think that? Isn't that interesting though? Like think about that. Like you go walking into the store, you don't even have to see the label, just the shape of the bottle. So those are the kinds of things that marketers and people who are designing packages are thinking about. And then you'll notice that they usually keep the same color scheme, they'll keep the same shape of the bottle for long periods of time because once they get people used to seeing something, they don't want to make a whole lot of changes to it because it throws people off. I mean, I've had like Quaker oatmeal. When they made the change to that one, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember, that box has been redesigned pretty recently. And see, I'm tuned into that stuff because that's what I love to do. But that box, when it was redesigned, it took me a minute to like realize that that was the product. Yeah.
They just changed the Doritos logo. It used to be like a heartbeat kind of thing, which didn't really make sense for Doritos, but it was like so simple, you know? It's like, who else is Doritos like that? No, it's just a triangle.
Exactly. And marketers take all that stuff. I mean, seriously, they take that into consideration. They think about what you, as a consumer, what you want to buy and why you want to buy it. Not just because, you know, and there's a whole lot of reasons people buy. Some buy because their mom buys that product, so then they buy that product. Yes, Eric.
Here's something for you guys real quick. I want you to tell me what you think this says real quick.
Progressive.
It says possessive, but it looks just like progressive. But you're so tuned into the advertisement of things that you thought it said progressive. You thought about the color and the shape of the letter.
That's what some people will trademark font styles because they're so recognizable, just like that. Like you don't even have to say the same word, but because that font is so recognized. I'm trying to think of a couple other ones. There's other bunches of them. I mean, when you start thinking about it.
These two colors put together, what do you think of?
Basketball.
Right, NBA.
They do. They become so ingrained in our society, just like pink for girls and blue for boys. I mean, they start when you're a baby, kind of directing you from, I mean, without even trying, just our cultural.
Let's break out of the gender roles.
Amen.
But there's a lot of kids who like pink. purple.
There are, and they're kind of breaking the norm, but when you will hardly ever see a man's product that's got pink and purple on it. I challenge you. If you find one, I want to know.
Oh, make one.
I know. That's what your project is today.
There is Aussie shampoo that's purple.
Is it for men?
It says that you have men's ones that are
Really? Because the Aussie uses purple, so I mean, like that is their kind of signature color. So yeah, maybe they use purple. Maybe they pair it with black or something.
Axe have a bunch of colors in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pink and purple and blue
The pink
and.
ones are for girls though.
No, there is a pink one for men.
It's what it says.
I have
Yeah.
seen it and I thought it was for women, but my sister sprayed it on herself and he goes, oh my god, it's not like my husband.
They're breaking gender roles for sure there, because that's very, very rare. So it's happening more and more. You're getting out of a more, you guys have a little bit, a thought process a little more contemporary than the traditional consumer. And who is the market for Axe? Who buys Axe?
Men.
And girls. Well, yeah, now there's.
What
Men
age
and
group do you think buys
Like
Axe? Does your grandpa buy Axe?
Like 13
Like
to like 15. Like.
No, I
No.
was,
13
my,
to like
my,
it's
brother,
like
my brother still uses it and he's 46.
Okay, it's time to about
Whoa!
He's a brother-in-law.
So, yeah, but I mean, like, you think about it, I mean, like, he's probably kind of breaking the norm, and he buys the pink one, huh?
My sister bought it herself, so now he's
Oh, okay, so don't tell him that, because he's probably so embarrassed. But he probably wouldn't go and pick that up off the shelf himself, like your sister bought it. Okay, see, so there are some,
The
like,
chocolate one smells ridiculous.
you kind of see where people's behaviors and what they are comfortable with and what they're not comfortable with. I'm cool with pink and black together for the Axe spray. That's cool with me, but not everybody is going to want to buy that product, and the marketers are thinking about who they're directing that to. So they think about what your age is, they think about where you live, they think about all different, I mean, like, all different kinds of factors go into marketing.
We call it market research.
Yes.
I don't get it, like when you're shopping for food, aren't you really going off the taste and like it or not?
Sometimes it's because mom had a coupon and it was cheaper. Sometimes it's because somebody else bought it and you got to try it at their house, and so then you bought it because you liked it, but you might not have bought it if you hadn't tried it. So like, yeah, and then once you try it and you like it, you buy it again and again. As long as they don't change the ingredients.
That's what I'm saying, you like it, so you're gonna buy it again.
Sure, and that is one of the reasons that people buy.
But you're not gonna buy like a product that's black and white with like sugar comes
No, in fact, I've got like on the table here the generic, right? Like I bought it at the dollar store.
I don't like when they have this big bag of chips and then there's like half of it that's still the chips.
Yeah, that's a whole nother marketing scheme.
Yeah, they fill the bag up with air and say it's full.
You guys are so smart. Yeah.
Munchos doesn't do that.
I hate Munchos so much.
And they really go by weight.
Like, it's like
Yeah, like
flavorful
air
bags
is
with
so
stuff
great.
that tastes like
Okay.
And sometimes they are. They're like now
they're
they're giving you less for your money. So